morning. You're listening to Caregiver Crossing, a podcast brought to you by Joy's House. We are really happy that you're here because Caregiver Crossing is a podcast created just for you, the caregiver. I'm Tina McIntosh.
And I'm her friend, Teri Stacy. We're here every week with experts from across the country, providing comfort and resources and a whole lot of joy to our caregivers. This podcast really serves to embrace the family caregivers of today and tomorrow. Thank you all so much for being here, Tina.
All right, so listen, I'm going to tell you the topic for today's conversation and do not turn off the podcast. Got it?
Okay.
Listeners, stay with us because sometimes I think this is a hard one for people. We're going to be discussing long-term care planning. And I know everybody thinks like, why do I care? But here's the reality. Statistics show that there is a 70% chance you will need care services if you live beyond the age of 65. And the likelihood of needing care increases as you continue to age. So considering the high probability that you're going to need care and the high cost of that care, if you need it, it is worthwhile to plan ahead, which is why I'm happy to introduce this week's guest. We are joined by Eric Baker. First of all, Eric, I need to tell you, is a financial representative at Horizon Planning Group, and planning ahead is his expertise. So Eric, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Glad to be here.
Do you find that people struggle with this topic? I mean, do people kind of get turned off when you talk about long-term planning?
They do. It's all in how you approach it. Planning for the future is something that has to be kind of approached carefully. I think one big misconception that a lot of people have just in general when it comes to financial planning is assuming that everything's going to stay the way it is now. We could talk about markets, stock market, which has been very, very strong and growing for a number of years, assuming that that's going to continue to happen. Of course, we have no control over that. The other thing relevant to our conversation is assuming my body is going to continue to perform the way it does now.
Well, Eric, I'm going to interrupt to say, let me tell you, that's not the way it works. Even with the best care and plans and workouts and foods and the body changes. So,
right.
Yeah, the body changes, but it's also when you think of long-term care, you think, oh, that's for the old people. That's what you put in your brain, that's for way down the road. But before you know it, way down the road is here. And so, and for me, it's here. And
that's what I was going to say, Teri, like way down the road. I mean, I'm a young, old 49, I'm almost 50. And I know you're a few years older. And it's like, we look at people who are in their 90s and 80s and think they're the old people. But, you talk to somebody 20, you and I are like completely at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And we probably have long-term care. But the truth of the matter is, I'm getting closer and closer to 60 and I don't have any long care. What can you help me with, Eric? Tell me what you're able to do for us.
Sure. So as a, someone in the financial services space on the personal side, Horizon Planning Group is considered a holistic planning firm. So if I'm sitting across the table from a couple or an individual, in a very broad sense, I'm helping them accomplish their financial goals. So it could be everything from retirement planning and investments. It could be saving strategies. It could be managing debt and how best to pay that down. And then it could be things like life insurance policies or disability coverage, or in this case, long-term planning. Things that, when life throws us curveballs, making sure that we are planning for that and ready for at least for the financial impact that would cause.
And who should, at what age should I have thought about that? I'm sorry. I just got so nervous because I thought, well, I really am close to 60. Am I too late? What age ideally should you start thinking about this sort of thing?
I would say right around there. Usually I talk to people in the, mid 50s, late 50s, as that retirement horizon kind of starts to come into view. They're thinking about, what do I want my retirement years to look like? As well as, what's my situation going to be when and if I do get to that point? You mentioned the stat that 7 out of 10 people will need long-term care if they live beyond 65. I read a stat the other day that said that every day between now and 2030, 10,000 people are turning 65. So it is a very, very relevant conversation for the number of baby boomers who are getting into that retirement age and thinking about not only what they want those years to look like, but how do I plan for the type of care that I may need when I get to a certain age.
Okay, so we only have a few more minutes with Eric Baker here. So I'm going to ask you this question. It's a big one, but what is maybe a common mistake that people make when doing their long-term care planning?
Well, like I mentioned earlier, thinking that I'm probably going to feel the way I do now when I get older. I'm fairly healthy, and I'm in my late 40s, and most days I feel pretty young and energetic. But I'm starting to notice my eyes don't see as well as they used to, or I don't run up and down the basketball court like I did in my 20s. Well, let's extrapolate that a little bit. What does that look like when I do get, 20 years from now or 25 years from now? Another relevant question to think about is what are, what's my financial situation? Do I have the means to maybe out of pocket pay for the rising costs of what long-term care? Another relevant. Go ahead.
That's one of my fears, Eric, is I think in some ways it feels like such a gamble, right? Because you don't know if you're going to need it. And it's like, I put all this money in, and what if I never need it? I've gambled it away, and I could have spent it on, saved it up for a cruise or, something. But sure. And that it is expensive. I mean, are those things you hear from people?
They are. And there are a few ways, just real high level, a few ways to kind of get at this, or a few different types of solutions. One that you mentioned would be a dedicated standalone long-term care policy that would be solely for that purpose. Obviously, that would pay a portion of or help to contribute toward those long-term care expenses. A downside to that would be if you don't use it, that money's gone. You've lost it. Two other solutions that I'm typically talking to clients about are long-term care expenses covered as a rider, or in addition to, for example, either an annuity, which would provide retirement income, or a permanent life insurance policy. So if I'm talking to someone about maybe they've got two goals, one is I want to make sure I'm planning for the possibility of long-term care expenses, but legacy planning is also important to me. I want to be able to leave something to my family, to my kids, or to my favorite cause. I want to be able to leave something to Joy's house on my,
yes,
when I pass away. That accomplishes
That's a good idea.
two of those things, right? We're talking about legacy planning, but we're also talking about long-term care expenses and planning for that as well.
Wow. Okay. This is a lot to think about, but I think it's really important that I start thinking about this right this minute. Now, before we let you go, we just have a couple of minutes here. Anything else? You get the last word, and also let us know how we can get in touch with you.
Sure. Well, it's important to think about the fact that long-term care expenses are going up, and in some ways significantly, even looking at the last 5 years. Let me throw a number out real quick to you. On average, a semi-private room in a nursing care facility in 2016 had an annual cost of about $82,000. Just by last year, 4 years later, it had gone from $82,000 to $93,000.
Wow.
The average cost in Indiana is a little bit lower, as you might imagine. But still, we're talking about some significant numbers, and so the importance is really significant of making a plan and of thinking about that. What you're going to be doing in that eventuality. People can get in touch with me a number of ways. I'm on LinkedIn, again, Eric Baker, Horizon Planning Group. My email is eric.baker, B-A-K-E-R, at horizonplanninggroup.com. Or maybe you can give out some contact information as well. They can reach me on my cell phone, which is on my email signature. It's also on my LinkedIn page.
Okay. Oh, you're terrific. Thank you so much. Tina, you want to close out the show today?
Absolutely. So, and you mentioned, contact information, Eric, if folks feel more comfortable or forgot your email address, and, the moments that we do this, they can email me at tina@joyshouse.org. And we're happy to get you more information and resources to help you through the journey of caregiving and connect you with Eric as well. We also have to mention our sponsors before we go, because they are so good to us and they're the reason that we're able to be here. So Caregiver Crossing is supported by AARP, My favorite magazine. And they're leading a revolution in the way people view and live life after the age of 50. And we love that they're working to empower people to choose how they live their lives as they age. We're also supported by our friends at American Village, a senior living community right here in Indianapolis. And they offer a full continuum of senior housing and healthcare solutions designed to accommodate a variety of lifestyle choices and healthcare needs. So thanks for being here, Eric, to you. Thanks to all of you listening on Caregiver Crossing. And we'll be back again next week. Until then, take good care of each other.